Dear students, welcome to 14th lecture of Mobile and Pervasive Computing CS 710 और हम बात कर रहे थे मोबाइल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स की। इसमें हमने सिमियन को पहले कवर किया, लास्ट लेक्चर में हमने एंड्रॉयड को देखना स्टार्ट किया। इस डिस्कशन में एक लॉजिकल कंटिन्यूटी है फ्रॉम दिस पर्सपेक्टिव दैट द corporate model of Symbian and Android is almost same. दोनों acquire हुए different companies से, both are open source, दो इन दोनों की open source किसको कितनी access है that is different, लेकिन on the core of it both are open source, that is the source code is available to certain people और both are acquired from different companies. Symbian जो है वो Symbian Limited से नोकिया ने acquire किया, जबकि एंड्रॉयड को एंड्रॉयड इंक से गूगल ने एक्वायर किया। लास्ट क्वार्टर 4 of 2010 reported that Android is the most selling operating system, smartphone operating system in the world. It has reported that the sales of Android has in US alone is 13.1% of the overall market. Some other research also suggests that Symbian might be a bit ahead अगर हम Nokia के अलावा दूसरी devices भी consider करें. As you know that Symbian was also shipped on some of Motorola, some of Sony Ericsson's. So अगर हम उनको भी consider करें तो Nokia might be still ahead. लेकिन the point being here is that Android has very fastly gained reputation और उसने बहुत जल्दी market को capture करना शुरू कर दिया. Certainly open source ने उसमें एक बहुत important role play किया है. Secondly, it was backed by a very powerful giant that is Google, so that also played an important role. लेकिन उसमें कुछ और factors भी थे जो कि हम अभी थोड़ी देर में discuss करेंगे. But Android has very fastly become very popular operating system, especially in the mobile domain. जिस तरह Symbian के different versions थे, started from Symbian 1, Symbian 2, Symbian 3 and then Symbian 4. We have Android versions started from 1.5. So we had 1.5, 1.6, then we had 2 and nowadays 3 has just recently came out. और उनकी जो code name है, those are very interesting. अगर आप, if you have a sweet tooth, then it might appeal you more. 1.5 was named Cupcake, 1.6 was Donut, 2.0, 2.1 was Eclair, 2.2 was Freo, 2.3 was Gingerbread, and now 3 is code names Honeycomb. So these are the evolution of versions or evolution of how Android has come this far. Similarly, उसके architecture में भी आपको यही differences नजर आएंगे. As we discussed in the last lecture, Android is based on Linux kernel. Started from the basics Linux kernel 2.6.24. Nowadays we are at somewhere 2.6.37. So this again, the basics or the kernel of the Android has come a long way as the architecture of the Android operating system itself. The software architecture or the software stack of Android is arranged in such a way that on the top we have applications, the user-facing applications. You have web browsers, you have messaging, you have telephony applications. All the user-facing applications are on the top layer, the application layer. Android comes with certain pre-built or preloaded applications. उसके नीचे the next layer is application framework. The purpose of application framework is to enhance reusability or to provide reusability. Application framework के अंदर वो components हैं या वो frameworks हैं जिनको use करते हुए applications बनाई by the Android engineers. और वही frameworks और वही components users के लिए भी available कर दिए गए so that the user can do the same using those components. They can also build their own application. So यहाँ पर reusability की एक बहुत strong notion आ गई that the same components or same frameworks that were used by them were made available. उसके नीचे we have a libraries layer. These are native libraries. Native का क्या मतलब है? Native का मतलब ये है कि जहाँ applications और application frameworks are written in Java, the libraries are written in C++. The idea is to make them very efficient and very fast so that the response time of the overall system is kept minimum. Libraries के नीचे there is a kernel layer, that is the Linux modified Linux kernel. And as we said in the last lecture, although Android is based on the Linux kernel, it is not Linux itself, because there are a number of modifications that were brought inside the Linux kernel. Aside from these modifications, what was kept? The things that were proven over the time were kept. Like Linux has been around for so many years, and some of its components were very vital. और ये वो components हैं, और वो these are fundamentals of any kernel or any operating systems that were kept. कौन सी वो चीजें थी? Process management and memory management. These were kept intact and brought into Android as it is. Then the security model. अब हमारे पास दो तरह के security model which are prevalent in operating systems. We have role-based security model and we have permissions-based security model. दोनों में फर्क ये है कि इन role-based security model, जब आप एक यूजर लॉग इन होता है और आइडेंटिफाइज हिमसेल्फ एज हैविंग सर्टेन रोल, उसको उस रोल के साथ एसोसिएटेड जितनी परमिशंस होती हैं वो मिल जाती हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप विंडोज की मिसाल लें तो विंडोज में व्हेन यू लॉग इन एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, तो यू हैव ऑल द पॉसिबल functionalities or all the possible privileges that are associated with this role. आप इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं चीज़ें, आप डिलीट कर सकते हैं चीज़ें, आप मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं. यू कैन डू एनीथिंग. कॉन्ट्रेरी टू दैट, अगर आप एक यूज़र के तौर पे लॉग इन हुए हैं तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन कि यूज़र की पॉलिसी क्या डिफाइन हुई है, यू माइट बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड. यू माइट नॉट बी एबल टू change the IP address of the network card, for example. You might not be able to install few things. So these are role-based security model. Linux, on the other hand, works on permissions-based security model. Permissions-based security model means that regardless of your role or regardless of the user that is logged in, there are certain privileges that are associated with the files or file system itself. ये लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दी थी कि अगर आप लिनक्स में जाकर ls करें तो आपको नजर आएगा कि एवरी फाइल हैज एन एसोसिएटेड परमिशन. सम फाइल कैन ओनली बी रेड, some files can only be written, some file could be also be executed. So these are the permissions that are associated with those files. और इसको टेस्ट करने का एक बड़ा आसान सा तरीका है कि आप रूट के तौर पे लॉगिन हो और create a shell script, a simple hello world shell script या do nothing shell script, और उसको command prompt से execute करवाने की कोशिश करें. It will deny you. It wouldn't execute. Even though you are root, it will tell you that it cannot execute that particular shell script. Why is that? Because when you created the file, you forgot to give him the execute permission. So first you have to give that file the execute permission and then it will execute. So this is permissions based security model. And this is important for Android because in cell phones, we don't have a very elaborate user authentication methods, और या हमारे पास बहुत elaborate user management functionality नहीं होती. It is assumed that whoever has the cell phone or whoever has the smartphone is the owner of it. The maximum security is the passcode. Once you have given that, you are in, and you are in as you can do anything. There is nothing There is nothing that can restrict you from performing any action. So that's why permissions-based security model is important, because in mobile operating system, there are certain things you don't want a user to change. For example, you don't want to mess up with the file systems, because there might be certain files that are very vital for the proper execution of the operating system itself. Yeah, unki placement is very vital. So user, when it goes inside, all the interface it is given is the applications, और या आपके पास एक programming interface होता है. You are not allowed to go inside the file system and start playing with the file system. Normally it's out of bound from the user. So this is the permission-based file security model was very vital and was taken from the Linux kernel itself. Then the driver model itself. Okay, how would an operating system recognize that there is a device attached to it? Again, Linux and Windows works in different domains. The way Windows works is, because Windows is a closed source operating system, Windows expose certain APIs saying that this is few things that you can do, and then the manufacturer of devices write binaries using those APIs which lets you use that device. This is how the Windows works. In Linux, it works differently. It works as the device drivers itself are made part of the kernel. आप उसमें source code contribute करते हैं, people will review them, people will check them, people will run your code, and then after regressive testing, regressive diligence, it was given an approval, और फिर वो that will become part of the standard kernel. This is because the kernel or the Linux is an open source. So the vendors are encouraged to contribute the source code to the kernel itself, and if it passes, the driver becomes part of the kernel. And this is the model that Android adopted. Although in Android, there are also two levels of driver management, which we'll discuss shortly. Just like हमने power management की जब बात की थी last time, तो हमने कहा था कि kernel में भी एक power management होती है, उसके ऊपर जो है वो Android itself अपनी एक layer बनाता है जिसमें वो अपनी aggressive power management implement करता है. So same goes for the driver management. The kernel itself comes with the driver models, and then on the top of it, Android implements its own kernel, its own drivers model. And then we have the shared library model. Linux kernel has great support for shared library model. और shared libraries किस लिए ज़रूरी होती हैं? Shared libraries इसलिए ज़रूरी होती हैं because there are certain libraries that are used very often. Libraries का first of all purpose यही होता है that you club many functionalities together and ship it as a library so that people would find it easy, upgrades आपके easy होंगे, उसकी usability easy होगी. So this library, because it's very important, every application would use it, and if every application has to load that library into the system itself, into the main memory itself, it would be problematic. इसलिए shared memory model or shared libraries model was brought into place, or the idea is कि no matter how many applications are using this library, हर applications के लिए आप एक अलग instance main memory में नहीं लेके आओगे, बल्कि what you will do is you will bring in just one, और वो instance that will take care of all of them. अब इसमें से reduction क्या हुई? Among many other things, Linux kernel जो कि Android में present है, it doesn't support glibc. What is glibc? Any Unix-like kernel, इसमें C programming हो रही हो, provides you support in form of library, जिसमें आपके पास उस library में आपके पास system calls होती हैं, plus other functionalities which lets you perform certain actions. Like printf हो गया, आपका exit function हो गया, certain math functions. These are part of this standard library, and this standard library is very crucial for the execution of applications or building applications itself. In Android, we don't have glibc anymore. So this is an obvious reduction in Android. उसकी जगह पर क्या आया? I'll go through in a little while. लेकिन what else came into kernel? Additions हमने उसमें क्या की? We brought in our own shared memory model, Android shared memory. This has been put into the Linux kernel. उसके अलावा we brought in the alarm model. Alarms क्या है? the Android provided applications with the facility that wake up anytime. Just like जब आप अपने फ़ोन में या अपनी घड़ी पे कोई alarm clock लगाते हो, तो that means at certain point that alarm will go off and you will wake up. Similarly, alarm model in Android gives the same functionality to applications itself. That is, the alarm will go off at certain time and the application will wake up at that time. The kernel will make certain arrangements or schedule it properly so that when application will wake up, it will be able to accommodate it. Then the inter-process communication were handled by Binder. The Binder is Android answers to inter-process communication. Android brought in its own power management on the top of the Linux kernel power management. Then we have a low memory manager, a low memory killer that is handled by out of memory handler OOM. OOM का काम ये है कि whenever you are out of space, you pick one process and kill it. अब ये जो picking वाला काम है, that which process will get picked and get killed, these are the policies that is defined by the user itself. और यूजर स्पेस से ये पॉलिसीज जो हैं वो कर्नल को कम्युनिकेट होती हैं और उन पॉलिसीज की बेस पर कर्नल डिसाइड करता है या OOM डिसाइड करता है कि विच प्रोसेस गेट्स टू लिव एंड विच प्रोसेस गेट्स टू बी किल्ड. एक बहुत सिंपल पॉलिसी ये हो सकती है कि इफ यूजर इज इंटरेक्टिंग विद एन एप्लीकेशन और अ प्रोसेस, दैट प्रोसेस गेट्स टू लिव. लेकिन अगर कोई प्रोसेस बैकग्राउंड में है एंड इट्स आइडल, so that's probably the one you would want to kill. But these policies are defined by user and then communicated to the kernel itself. Then, because Android being an open source project, including the kernel itself, Linux kernel itself is an open source. So anybody can make changes into it. And to track these changes and to see if your changes are working fine, Android provided with a kernel debugger. For kernel debugging, we use a utility called GDB, which helps us debug the kernel to see if it is working properly or not, if we added some functionality or just for troubleshooting. Then another important part that was added to Android kernel was the logger. Logger lets you log system-wide messages. अगर आपने Android पे थोड़ा सा काम किया, तो there is a utility called logcat. आप logcat जब टाइप करते हो, तो it shows you all the messages that has come into the system, जो आपके सिस्टम में रिकॉर्ड हुए होते हैं. This logcat functionality in turn uses the logger functions. अब loggers 4 तरह के होते हैं. We have a main logger buffer, जिसमें तमाम जो आपके मैसेजेस सिस्टम में रिकॉर्ड हो रहे होते हैं all goes there. Then we have event logger buffer. Any event that comes or that pops up inside the Android system is recorded there. Then we have radio logger buffer. Any telephone or radio related information, messages goes inside that buffer. And the fourth buffer is the system buffer. System buffer lets you log all the low level system messages, so that in case there is any problem there, you want to troubleshoot that one, those are the that is the buffer which logs all those messages. So when you do logcat, you will see all these 4 kind of messages inside the log, and from there you can see how things are working, because this is how we normally debug something, right? When we don't have any proper debugging tool available to us, what we do is we put print statements that okay, assign, for example, अगर मैं छोटा सा कोई प्रोग्राम ले लूँ और it is doing this plus and minus, or so what I do is that I will assign some variables a value and then I do a printf or cout to see whether that values get assigned. Then I will perform a function और उसके नीचे मैं एक और printf statement लिख दूंगा just to see कि वो function appropriately perform हुआ है या नहीं. If I wanted to see कि मेरी loop उतने टाइम चला है जितने टाइम उसको चलना चाहिए, तो उसके अंदर अगर मैं प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट डाल दूंगा तो आई विल सी कि उतने टाइम वो प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट प्रिंट हुई है, या जो मैंने लूप के लिए वेरिएबल यूज़ किया है उस पर मैं उस काउंटर को मैं प्रिंट करवा लूंगा जस्ट टू सी हाउ मेनी टाइम इट गेट्स रन. तो सिमिलरली the log functionality is equivalent to it. A little bit more sophisticated, actually a lot more sophisticated than printf statements, just to let you troubleshoot the system or just to understand how the system is working. What is the flow, how the state is being transferred from one process to another, how processes are being called, what are the functionalities that processes are performing. All these are logged inside this by the loggers, and if you do logcat, you will be able to see that. Last time we discussed a bit of binder and the power management functionalities. These are the two most standout functionalities, I would say. I wouldn't say most important, I would say standout. Because normally in the kernel, we have glibc, first of all. हमने उसको तो निकाल के परे कर दिया, हमने कहा कि वो तो Android kernel में होती ही नहीं है. Then we have driver models, it is still there. We have process management and memory management, that is also still there. The changes we have made along with others is, the first one is the binder model. And it has modified the traditional inter-process communication or the IPC. The idea is when the two processes tries to communicate with each other, there should be some constructs that would let them do it. Because communication wouldn't just simply means कि आपने communication दो message pass करने हैं, एक message इधर से उधर गया. These messages might also include some variables. These might also include some objects. तो objects किस तरीके से pass होंगे, किस तरीके से sync होगा. This is the part of inter-process communication. The traditional inter-process communication introduce some security loopholes. अगर आप उसके literature को पढ़ें, so there are a number of problems that are associated with inter-process communication. Or secondly, it may be very resource-hungry process. If not managed properly, then inter-process can become a very resource-hungry process or procedure. A mobile platform में, in desktop platform, it is probably okay. We probably don't care. लेकिन मोबाइल प्लेटफॉर्म में वी हैव टू केयर बिकॉज वेन एवर समथिंग बिकम्स रिसोर्स हंग्री इट इन टर्न्स बिकम पावर हंग्री. और जब भी कोई चीज़ पावर हंग्री होती है दैट मीन्स इट विल लिमिट आवर बैटरी लाइफ और आर जो हमारे सेल फोन की या स्मार्टफोन की प्रोडक्टिव लाइफ है दैट विल बी लोअर्ड. सो IPC in Android, Google decide that IPC will be replaced with a binder. And binder is the same, agar aap, if you are familiar with the concept, it is a Corba-like inter-process communication and based on Open Binder. So it is again an open source project that Google brought on board. ये काम किस तरीके से करता है? काम ये इस तरीके से करता है कि if process A needs a service, it will first tries to find out कि वो service कौन सा process offer कर रहा है. When it finds out that service, it sends an IPC call. वो IPC call जो है दरमियान में binder intercept करता है. जब वो intercept करता है तो it will see which service is being used. It spawns a thread for that service. कौन से object pass हो रहे हैं, वो object pass करने के लिए we use a reference based model. That means we have a shared memory जहाँ पर हम तमाम जो हमारे objects share हो रहे हैं उनको place करते हैं. Or then we let process B knows that what is required from them, which service is required from them, और उसके लिए parameters या उसके लिए objects कहाँ पर पड़े हैं. The service B performs that action, let the binder knows back, and then binders जो है वो process A को वापस notify कर देते हैं that action has been performed. So for process A, this whole process is same as calling an instance of a class or calling a function. It is same as that. It has become very easy for the calling function to find out the process or the service and then to call that service. Similarly, क्योंकि हम shared memory use कर रहे हैं तो इसलिए there is no replication of objects. हम उसकी copies नहीं बना रहे हैं, हम उसको serialize और deserialize नहीं कर रहे. Shared memory वहाँ पर हम रखते हैं. All we need is कि हम उस object का track रखेंगे, हम उन वेरिएबल्स का ट्रैक रखेंगे so that when their need is finished, जब उनका काम खत्म हो जाए तो then we will destroy them. तो ये binder is an important aspect और एक important dimension है जो IPC की जगह Android ने introduce करवाई. सेकेंड जो इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट या इम्पॉर्टेंट डायमेंशन एंड्रॉयड ने इंट्रोड्यूस करवाई, दैट वाज एग्रेसिव पावर मैनेजमेंट. और पावर मैनेजमेंट जो है वो हम वेकअप लॉक्स के थ्रू अचीव कर रहे हैं. द आइडिया इज दैट इफ यू वांट टू कीप सर्टेन थिंग ऑन, देन यू विल अचीव अ वेकअप लॉक ऑन दैट. अदरवाइज एंड्रॉयड की पॉलिसी ये है कि व्हेन एवर समथिंग इज नॉट बीइंग यूज्ड, इट विल बी टर्न्ड ऑफ, सो टू कंजर्व द बैटरी पावर. लेकिन if you need something to be on all the time, then you will achieve or you will secure a wake-up lock on them, and when you will get that wake-up lock, that thing or that resource will be on or will be on until you release that wake-up lock. इसलिए जो wake-up lock है उनको use करने के लिए you have to be very careful, because if you get a wake-up lock on something and don't release it on time, your battery will get drained very quickly. Wake-up locks की भी किस्में होती हैं. Few are one type of it is called wake-up lock partial. Another type of it is wake-up lock full. Wake-up lock full will keep all the resources up until you release it. Wake-up lock partial will only keep the CPU up and let other resources such as screen will get turned off. So अगर लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल मेरी एप्लीकेशन ने वेकअप लॉक फुल एक्वायर किया एंड देन इट फॉरगॉट टू रिलीज इट, एवरीथिंग विल बी ऑन until the lifespan of the application and the battery will be drained very very quickly. तो ये तो थी कर्नल लेयर. अब इसमें एडिशनली जो कर्नल लेयर में चीज़ें हैं, दैट आर द ड्राइवर्स, आपके वाईफाई के ड्राइवर्स, आपके ब्लूटूथ के ड्राइवर्स, ऑल दीज ड्राइवर्स गोज इनसाइड कर्नल लेयर इन एडिशन टू दिस. अब कर्नल लेयर से थोड़ा सा ऊपर चलते हैं. कर्नल लेयर से ऊपर वी हैव लाइब्रेरीज. दीज आर नेटिव C++ लाइब्रेरीज, और इनको C या C++ में इम्प्लीमेंट करने का पर्पस ये है दैट वी वांट देम टू बी वेरी एफिशिएंट, because all the system calls or all the calls or all the functionalities will eventually be catered by these libraries. ये वो लाइब्रेरीज हैं जो कि इवेंचुअली आपकी तमाम फंक्शनैलिटीज को हैंडल करेंगी थ्रू वेरियस लेयर ऑफ एब्स्ट्रैक्शंस. फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स थिंक अबाउट an application which tries to display something on screen. You have written a simple application that will probably just display hello world or some simple window or a button, but it is just trying to display something, get something on the screen. How will that work? आप एप्लीकेशन लेयर पर हैं, आपने एप्लीकेशन फ्रेमवर्क्स को यूज करते हुए you have written the application. एप्लीकेशन हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में जिक्र किया था कि एवरी एप्लीकेशन या एवरी प्रोसेस विल रन इन इट्स ओन डालविक जावा वर्चुअल मशीन. तो जब ये एप्लीकेशन रन होगी तो वो अपना एक अलहदा इंस्टेंस स्पॉन करेगी डालविक VM का. वो डालविक VM देन इट विल यूज द कोर लाइब्रेरीज दैट आर प्रोवाइडेड बाय द एंड्रॉयड सिस्टम. सो जो आपने ऊपर से शुरू हुए, यू हैव run through the different abstraction layers. आप application framework में गए, then you went into the Dalvik JM. Dalvik JM will eventually call the libraries. Libraries में वहाँ पर C++ में ये define हुआ होगा कि how would you display something on the screen, और उसके नीचे in the kernel layer you will have the drivers for your screen, for example. So this is the flow of events. So on the top of kernel layer we have these C++ libraries that do all the heavy lifting. All of your functionalities, all of your functions will eventually end up using them. इस layer को we call it libraries layer or native libraries layer. Native because it is written in the native language. और native हम किस तरीके से decide करते हैं? Native हम इस तरह से decide करते हैं because the kernel itself is written in C++. So the native libraries should be written in, or anything native should be written in C++ too. So these are termed as libraries or native libraries, and they sit right on the top of the kernel itself. We can categorize these libraries according to their functionality. Now this categorization is not official. ये ना Google की categorization है, ना Android की कैटेगराइजेशन है, ना ये ओपन हैंडसेट अलायंस से आई हुई है. ये कैटेगराइजेशन है जस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड द लाइब्रेरीज मोर इफेक्टिवली. वी ब्रेक डाउन दीज कैटेगरीज इनटू 4 distinct functionalities. सबसे पहले we have Bionic libc. Bionic is a very important part of Android and we will describe what it entails. इसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें आती हैं in a bit. Again, this is the first category that we have in our hands. Then we have function libraries. Those libraries that perform certain functions on our behalf. That we have native servers. These native servers are the processes that handle input and output for us. And then we have the 4th category, that is hardware abstraction layer. That is those hardware drivers that are part of the Android system that goes inside that abstraction layer. We will see them individually, all of them individually. We will discuss what goes inside them and what is the rationale behind all of them. The first one is the Bionic libc, and Bionic libc is a very interesting part because it is again a very important component. Important component किस लिए है? अगर हम थोड़ा सा इसको बैक ट्रैक करें तो हमने कहा कि when we discussed कि कर्नल लेयर के अंदर क्या चीज़ गई और क्या चीज़ नहीं गई, तो we said कि glibc is not part of kernel layer anymore. और साथ ही हमने ये भी कहा कि glibc को हमने डिफाइन किया कि glibc है क्या. तो glibc को हमने कहा कि any Unix like system, Linux itself is a Unix like system too. तो हमने कहा कि any Unix like system जो है उसको C लाइब्रेरीज चाहिए होती हैं या स्टैंडर्ड लाइब्रेरीज चाहिए होती हैं which it uses to implement the functionality, जो कि आपको प्रोग्राम को कंपाइल होने के लिए चाहिए होती हैं, जो कि आपके प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूट होने के लिए चाहिए होती हैं. It has standard system calls, it has some input output functionalities, it has certain math functions that are required. और फिर जो तीसरी चीज हमने कही वो हमने कहा कि ये जो नेटिव लाइब्रेरीज होती हैं वो C++ में इम्प्लीमेंटेड होती हैं. तो नाउ वी हैव अ कन्फ्लिक्टेड स्टेटमेंट समहाउ. हम एक तरफ C++ में चीजें लिख भी रहे हैं, लेकिन C++ में जो लिखने के लिए या जिनको कंपाइल करने के लिए जो एक एसेंशियल कंपोनेंट है वो हमारे पास मिसिंग है, वो है glibc. द फैक्ट इज कि we still have a system library, a C system library or C library if you want to call it, but that is not part of the kernel layer anymore. Now it's part of the native libraries, and Google or Android calls it the Bionic libc. Why move the, first of all, why not glibc? glibc हमने अपनी एक ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट लाइब्रेरी क्यों बना ली, पहली चीज. और सेकंड, व्हाई नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द कर्नल इटसेल्फ, उसको एक लेवल हम ऊपर क्यों ले गए. अब इसका आंसर ऑफ इट इज टू फोल्ड. इसमें 2 चीजें इन्वॉल्व हो. पहली चीज थी इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स. इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स सेज कि अगर मैंने कोई चीज इन्वेंट की है तो आई गेट the right to that particular invention for certain period of time. उस period of time में अगर कोई और उसको यूज करना चाहे तो वो मुझे रॉयल्टी देगा. तो one thing that goes inside the design or this decision behind glibc and libc controversy is the intellectual property right, and second is the efficiency. Intellectual property right से शुरू करते हैं. glibc is provided freely under GPL license, that is GNU General Public License, General Public License for short, and this is the most popular license under which a free software is distributed. अब GPL क्या कहता है? GPL license says that you can use it freely as long as you want, लेकिन if you use it for building something, या आप कोई चीज इसके अंदर मॉडिफाई करते हैं या आप इसको चेंज करते हैं या आप इसमें एडिशन करते हैं, that thing should also be distributed under GPL license. अब इसकी implications देखें कि GPL license की implications क्या होंगी on myself, या मैं एक तो वेंडर हूँ who has built an application or it is trying to become part of the Android itself. अब इसकी implication क्या है? The implication of this is that we have, let's say I am into the image processing algorithms, or I have come up with a very novel image processing algorithm, बड़ा cutting edge. और आपको पता है कि image processing algorithms are the ones that are more resource hungry. So I have come up with a very good, excellent image processing algorithm, और उसकी effect ये हुआ है कि अब आपका image processing का जो time है, in certain cases it has become half. मैंने efficiency बहुत increase कर दी. Now this efficient algorithm, I want it to be part of my mobile device. क्योंकि mobile devices में now they come with a very heavyweight cameras featuring from 3 megapixel up till 12 megapixels. तो इन मोबाइल डिवाइसेस में इट मेक्स मोर सेंस कि अगर मेरे पास एक ऐसा एफिशिएंट एल्गोरिथम है जिसको मैं यूज करते हुए इमेज प्रोसेसिंग आई विल रिड्यूस इट बाय हाफ, देन दिस इज सर्टेनली अ वेरी बिग इन्वेंशन. अब अगर आई विल implement this algorithm using glibc, that means that this will be again distributed under the GPL license, the copyleft clause, that I'll have to make this algorithm available under the GPL. That will violate my market standing, because I have spent number of years coming up with this algorithm. I have spent number of resources coming up with this algorithm. And when the time came for me to materialize on it or to make money out of it, because I am using glibc, I have to provide it to everybody for free under the GPL clause. This is against my corporate policy, because let's face it, I am here to make money. I invest in R&D or research and development to make money, and when I come up with certain innovative algorithms, I would not like to distribute it for free. इसकी दूसरी डायमेंशन देख लेते हैं. दूसरी डायमेंशन क्या है? दूसरी डायमेंशन ये है कि एंड्रॉयड ने कहा कि वी विल डू ऑल द हार्ड वर्क, या गूगल ने कहा कि वी विल डू ऑल द हार्ड वर्क, वी विल develop the operating system for you, and you, the handset manufacturers, all you have to do is port that operating system into your device, and we will help you in doing that too. We will define very well defined APIs. हम आपको हर तरह की leverage देंगे, हम आपको operating system ये बना के देंगे. All you have to do is put it in your device and ship it for free. So this is the Google's marketing policy, and it is very successful, because now Android is number 2 in the market, if not already number 1. It's number 2 in the market after Symbian. लेकिन इसी चीज को अगर हम IP इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी की तरफ से देखें और हम कहें कि जी glibc, हर जो मैन्युफैक्चरर आएगा वो glibc यूज करते हुए अपनी प्रोप्राइटरी चीजें इंप्लीमेंट करेगा, and then it will make it available to everybody, probably nobody will opt for it, because everybody will decide to keep their intellectual property hidden, because this is from where they make money. Of course you will prefer a device which is very speedy, जिसका response बहुत ज़्यादा हो, जिसका you won't go for a device जिसका कैमरा तो 5 मेगापिक्सल का हो, लेकिन जब आप उससे तस्वीर खींचे तो वो आपको 2 मिनट के बाद रिजल्ट दे. You wouldn't prefer that. You would want best of the both worlds, कि जी रेजोल्यूशन भी बहुत अच्छी हो और उसकी जो बाद में आफ्टर इमेज प्रोसेसिंग है वो भी बहुत फास्ट हो. सो दिस इज वेयर यू गिव द एज टू योर डिवाइसेस. और अगर इफ यू publish this edge freely, then everybody will be able to copy it and your edge will be lost. So intellectual property is one aspect which forced Google to take out the glibc, implement its own libc version and put it outside the kernel library. This was first. Second is the efficiency part of it. And efficiency, I mean both size and the speed. एफिशिएंसी को हम दोनों तरीकों से मेजर करते हैं. एक डायमेंशन हमारी साइज की होती है, एक मार्जिन हमारी स्पीड की होती है. साइज किस लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है? साइज इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज glibc और libc दे आर शेयर्ड लाइब्रेरीज. शेयर्ड लाइब्रेरीज का मतलब ये है कि दे विल बी यूज्ड बाय एवरी प्रोसेस. और हमने कहा था कि हर प्रोसेस जो है वो it's spawned inside its own virtual machine. डार्लिंग की वर्चुअल मशीन में हर किसी के पास अपना एक अलग प्रोसेस होगा और वो प्रोसेस अगर लिपसी या जीलिपसी इन केस ऑफ एंड्रॉयड लिपसी यूज कर रहा है तो इट हैज टू लोड इट अप. अब अगर आपकी शेयर लाइब्रेरी का साइज बहुत बड़ा है एंड इट इज गेटिंग लोडेड ओवर एंड ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन, यू विल बी आउट ऑफ मेमोरी वेरी सून. सो साइज इज इंपॉर्टेंट देयर. नाउ the size of libc is 200K, which is essentially half the size of glibc. So we gained the size efficiency from there. From this our custom implementation of C library, we gained this size efficiency that we cut the size of glibc that was essentially the double of the 200K, which is the size of libc. दूसरी चीज है speed. How we gained the speed? We gained speed by modifying or by writing fast code paths. We identified the most frequent code paths के जो बहुत frequent paths हैं which we take, and then we made them very fast. We write our own pthread implementation, and that pthread implementation was very limited. For example, we didn't support for C++ exceptions in the pthread. We left it out and we implemented certain other functionalities. So pthread implementation which goes inside the libc has very limited pthread functionalities, and we made it fast through the fast code path. So these are the two major changes that we did as compared to glibc to make the libc first of all smaller and second faster. अब इसकी डाउन साइड जब भी जहां पर भी आप कुछ गेन कर रहे होते हैं वहां पे आप डेफिनेटली लूज करते हैं, और हमने लूज क्या किया. Now, the libc, anything that is written in libc is not compatible with glibc anymore. अगर वही प्रोग्राम आप ले जाके glibc पे कंपाइल करने की कोशिश करें तो probably it wouldn't get compiled, because although libc implemented some of glibc functions, it didn't implemented all of them. तमाम glib functions weren't ported to the libc. As a result, now libc and glibc are not compatible anymore. और जब ये compatibility नहीं है तो any program that is written using libc wouldn't get compiled. In most cases, wouldn't get compiled using the libc. So this is the downside of it. We gained intellectual property right. We let the companies to keep their intellectual property rights. We gained efficiencies based on the size and speed of it. We invented fast code paths. We changed the implementation of pthreads. We took out the extra baggage from pthreads. But on this process where we gained efficiency and we let the companies to keep their intellectual property rights, we lose the compatibility. Now glibc is not compatible with libc, and everything written in libc might not get compiled using glibc. The positive side is that on Android, whatever you write will needs to get compiled using libc. So for Android platform, all you have to worry about libc, which is a limited set of functionality as compared to glibc. So ये थी Bionic library or Bionic libc library, that is the native C++ library. दूसरा component, दूसरी category is the function libraries. Functional libraries वो हैं जो which lets you perform various functions inside the Android. This is where all the heavy lifting is done. आपकी तमाम libraries और आपकी तमाम applications end up using one or the other of these libraries. अब functional libraries में क्या क्या आती हैं? Functional libraries में we have a WebKit. WebKit क्या है? WebKit is an open source web engine that comes with Android. अब ये engine आपको क्या provide करता है? This engine provides you functionality to view rich web pages on your devices. वो आपको full desktop view भी render करके देगा. It will interpret CSS, AJAX, DOM models. So all these rich interfaces that are defined within the web, the WebKit engine will have support for all of them, and this is ported or this is brought as is inside the Android model. Then the second important functional library is Media Framework. Media Framework is based on the open source library. और इसका काम क्या है कि it lets you do all the media thing, audio, video से related जो भी आपके काम है, that will be done using this. It will let you listen all kind of audio files. It will let you draw all kind of, or it will let you view all kind of video files, MP4, MP3. All these formats are supported by the Open Core, and this is brought inside the Android project, and this is placed inside the native libraries. One of the many very important component in the function libraries is the SQLite. Most of you who have worked with databases may be already familiar with this library. This is the library that provides you with the transactional storage. जहाँ सिमियन में हमने बात की थी कि जो भी चीज़ हमने persist करनी है, we are talking about streams and we are talking about stores. In Android, for storing anything or for persisting things, we have SQLite. Anything that gets persisted inside Android, आपके MMS, आपके SMS, आपके contacts, all those things make use of the SQLite library in order to store things. The next thing, so these are the three important components that goes inside the function libraries. We have SQLite that gives us the transactional or persistent supports. We have the WebKit web engine that lets you view different kind of web pages, feature-rich web content. And then we have the media framework that lets you play with audio or video inside the Android. नेक्स्ट चीज़ जो इसमें हमारे पास इनसाइड नेटिव लाइब्रेरीज और थर्ड कैटेगरी जो हम नेटिव लाइब्रेरीज में हमारे पास है, दैट इज़ द नेटिव सर्वर्स. अब नेटिव सर्वर्स का काम क्या है? नेटिव सर्वर्स का काम ये है कि इट हैंडल्स ऑल द इनपुट आउटपुट फॉर यू. सो these are the process that runs in the background and handles all the inputs and outputs for you. इसकी examples में there are two more prominent ones. One is called Video Flinger and other is called Audio Flinger. Video Flinger का काम क्या है? The Video Flinger or Surface Flinger to be exact, in Android we call it Surface Flinger, is that it lets you draw any surface on the screen. The Surface Flinger uses the surfaces, be it 2D or 3D, from different applications and then render it to the frame buffer. अब ये application से लेकर frame buffer तक कैसे जाती हैं? We use our well-known concept, that is the binder IPC calls. So we use the frame buffers and then the frame buffer will render it. We pass our surfaces to the frame buffer, और frame buffer इस इन buffers को और इस surfaces को use करते हुए it will use the video codec, it will use the hardware support that might be available to it, it will draw it on the screen, which is the work of Surface Flinger. Same work is done by Audio Flinger. Audio Flinger is has same functionality as that of Surface Flinger, and that it collects the audio from different applications and then it plays it for you. So all the audio originating from different applications that gets played, be it on your earpiece, be it on speaker, be it on Bluetooth, this is part of, or this is the functionality of the Audio Flinger, that it collects the audio from different applications, just like the Surface Flinger was collecting the surfaces or from different applications and then displaying it on screen. The Audio Flinger collects voice or audio from different applications and then then it move it to the appropriate output device, be it your speaker, be it your earpiece, be it your Bluetooth. All of these are handled by Audio Flinger. So this is the job, or this is the functionality of Audio Flinger. Audio Flinger and Surface Flinger are both part of the native servers. So we have three different categories we have discussed so far. We have Bionic libc. a very important component that goes inside the native libraries. Then we have function libraries that do all the heavy lifting, that provides all the functionalities that goes behind the scenes. And then we have native servers in form of audio and video flinger that help us handle the input and output of the device. The last and an important category is the hardware abstraction layer. This is the C++ implementation of the hardware drivers. अब question again comes here कि जब हमारे पास कर्नल के अंदर हार्डवेयर ड्राइवर्स हैं, हमारे पास कर्नल के हमने एक one of the reason of keeping the Linux kernel was that it has a proven device driver models. तो उसके ऊपर why are we introducing an other layer जिसको हम हार्डवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन लेयर का नाम दे रहे हैं, और उस पर हम कह रहे हैं कि वी विल इम्प्लीमेंट आवर ड्राइवर्स ऑन द टॉप ऑफ इट. Why we are doing that? We will take this question in the next lecture where we will see what is the rationale behind implementing our own hardware abstraction layer. But just to give you a hint, one of the reasons for doing this is to make the life of the vendor easier. That when you are porting the Android operating system from one device to another, you have to take care of the device porting itself. Because if, for example, in device A, the GPS is provided by company A, for example, and in device B, the GPS is provided by company B. अब दोनों की जो कर्नल लेयर में है, दोनों के ड्राइवर्स अलग-अलग है. Company A has provided its own set of kernel drivers, जबकि company B ने अपने GPS डिवाइस के लिए अपनी different set of drivers दिए होंगे to support its own GPS. तो इस जो गैप है इसको पार्ट करने के लिए एंड्रॉयड ने अपनी एक हार्डवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन लेयर इंट्रोड्यूस करवाई, और दिस इज वेयर द मैन्युफैक्चरर्स विल इम्प्लीमेंट देयर पार्ट ऑफ द हार्डवेयर. एंड टू गिव यू अनदर हिंट, it has to do something with GPL2. I'll leave you with this note and let you think about what GPL essentially has to do with the hardware abstraction or hardware driver model inside the Android. आज हमने डिस्कस किया what are the basic layers of Android. हमने डिस्कस किया what are the components kernel is composed of. हमने डिस्कस किया कि उसमें क्या enhancement थी, क्या चीज़ें उसमें additional डाली गई, क्या चीज़ें छोड़ दी गई, और जो चीज़ें छोड़ दी गई उनमें से जो important components थे वो ऊपर वाली layer, that is the libraries, native libraries, उसमें किस तरीके से appear हुई, और what are the important components of the native libraries. हम नेक्स्ट टाइम कंटिन्यू करेंगे. वी विल स्टार्ट डिस्कसिंग विद द हार्डवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन लेयर, देन वी विल स्टार्ट विद अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इज द Dalvik VM और द एप्लीकेशन रन टाइम लेयर, एंड सी व्हाट इज द रैशनल बिहाइंड इंट्रोड्यूसिंग द Dalvik VM, और उसकी जगह हमने सिंपल जावा वर्चुअल मशीन क्यों नहीं यूज़ की. एंड देन वी विल मूव आवर डिस्कशन टू एप्लीकेशन फ्रेमवर्क एंड एप्लीकेशन themselves. Till then, I am Abdul Aziz signing off. Allah Hafiz.